A government report shows the number of people experiencing homelessness was 770,000 in January of 2024. Well, that's 18% more than the same time in 2023.
And despite the discouraging overall numbers, there are some encouraging storylines. Homelessness among veterans decreased by 8% due to several coordinated efforts. An initiative in Dallas led to a 16% decrease, and Los Angeles saw its first decline in 7 years.
That's right. That's right. Ann Oliva, CEO of the National Alliance to End Homelessness, and Catherine Monet, Chief Executive Officer of the National Coalition for Homeless Veterans. They join us now with all the details. Ladies, thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you for having us.
Ann, let's start with you. What do the numbers say about the homeless problem in our state?
Yeah, as you mentioned, nationwide, we saw an 18% increase in the number of people experiencing homelessness between 2023 and 2024. I think we can all agree that communities and neighborhoods are safer and stronger when everybody in that neighborhood has a safe place to sleep. And these increases are largely driven by the fact that a lot of people, more people than ever, can't afford skyrocketing rents in their communities, and they're becoming homeless for the first time. In the state of Georgia, between 2023 and 2024, you all were mostly flat. About 12,000 people experience homelessness across your state at any given point in time. But there's still a lot of work to do because there is a gap in the number of units that are available for people at the lowest incomes. The gap in the state of Georgia is about 215,000 units.
Wow. And Catherine, veteran homelessness is on the decline. So what's working and how can it be expanded to all communities?
So veteran homelessness has been on the decline for a long time, since 2010, and that's amazing. What we've seen is that there has been a lot of federal investment and attention placed on this issue that has been helpful, right? I think we've seen that the federal government has invested more than ever into programs that work to end veteran homelessness, which is helpful. We've also seen that the national attention has really translated into local level action and attention and coordination, which is really great, right? In communities like Georgia, we've seen that that's led to about an 8% decrease in the last year in veteran homelessness. But I do think that the biggest thing that folks are really doing is thinking about what works in communities and really reorienting our whole solution portfolio around connecting people to affordable housing and giving them the services and the supports that they need to maintain that housing and thrive.
Unfortunately, there has been a bit of a positive side to this, too. And what are some success stories that you're hearing about?
Yeah, thank you for that question. It's important to talk about successes. Catherine and I, as part of our jobs, we get to travel the country and talk to people and see what's working and what the challenges are at the community level. And in places like Miami, Florida, Dallas, Texas, Chattanooga, Tennessee, and Spokane, Washington, we're seeing decreases in the number of people experiencing homelessness, largely because those communities are laser focused on getting people directly into the housing that's safe and affordable for them and the supportive services that they want and need. And that's really hard to do in tight housing markets. I know Atlanta is a tight housing market, but we are seeing communities working harder than ever to reach this goal.
Some heartbreak images, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And this is very interesting. Some states are trying to criminalize being homeless. What do you say to this, that this is the wrong approach?
Yeah, I mean, I know it can be frustrating for community members to see encampments in their parks and on their streets. And I can tell you from talking to people that it's even more frustrating for the people who are forced to live in those encampments. But we know that fining, ticketing, and arresting people just because they don't have a place to live, not only does it not work, it makes it harder for them to actually get out of homelessness. Mm-hmm. And these approaches, they don't end homelessness, they hide homelessness.
Yeah, and ladies, what can we do to advocate for the homeless in our area?
So I think there are a couple of things that you can do. And the first is to support organizations in your community that are doing the work. I think the second is to really think about how you engage with local and state level leaders to make sure that they know that homelessness is unacceptable, but that we want real solutions to homelessness, like housing and services. And I think the last thing that you can do is, if you want to learn more about what's happening at the national level or in other communities across the country, you can go to endhomelessness.org to learn more from Ann and her team, or you can go to nchv.org to learn more from my team.
A real eye-opener and a great collaboration between two great organizations. Ann and Catherine, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it, all the information.
Thanks
you.
for having us.
All right, coming up, are you struggling to take some time off? Well, we'll give you expert tips on how to secure and make the most of your vacation days. You're watching Mix at 3. Back in just a few.